Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? The book I've read this week is this one. It's called Murder Under the Mistletoe by the Reverend Richard Coles. Was published as a hardback edition here in the UK on the 24th of October 2024 by Weidenfeld and Nicholson, WN, which is part of the Orion publishing group. And it's the fourth adventure for Canon Clement, for Daniel Clement. The first one was called Murder Before Evensong, the second one was called Death in the Parish, and the third was called Murder at the Monastery. They're all cosy crime, have been well received, and they tell the tale of a vicar, Canon, the Reverend Daniel Clement and his mate Neil Vanloo, who's a detective sergeant, local police, solving various mysteries. So cosy crime. It's worth pointing out this is the fourth story, and this isn't a full-blown book. It's a novella. It's 143 pages, so not quite the same as the previous books. But okay, less of the waffle. What's it all about? Well, as you can probably see by the front cover, it's a very Christmassy front cover. The inside of the book is also very Christmassy, with we've got churches, Christmas trees, reindeer, etc. So I think we can gather by that this is designed for the Christmas present market, and it's a Christmas story. And in fact, it tells us on the front: a festive gathering, a secret recipe, a Christmas killer. So what's the score? Well, starts off with Daniel doing his duties in Champton St.Mary as usual. It's getting close to Christmas, busy time of year as a vicar. His mother Audrey is getting ready for their Christmas dinner, but she's saying, well, actually, we've been invited to the big house. Lord Flores, Bernard Flores and Honoria have invited us to Champton House. And this is quite good, that's the big house in the village. However, it transpires that there's been a bit of a problem, and one of Lord Flores' staff is ill and has to leave with a family emergency. So Audrey says, oh, no problem, they can come to us at the rectory. And all of a sudden, there's a bit of a flap on, because Daniel is saying, well, hang on, we got enough food, and P.S. I've invited Neil Vanloo, his mate, detective, and P.S. Audrey says, there's also another problem. I've invited Miss March, who runs the local clothing shop. So they end up with a lot of people at the rectory on Christmas Day, also including Lord Flores' American cousins, who he wasn't particularly looking forward to hosting. So they've got a whole bunch of different people attending Christmas dinner at the rectory, cooked by Daniel's mother Audrey. She's basically unflappable. Cook for a few more, no problem. And Honoria, Lord Flores' wife, is bringing extra food and extra drinks as well. So they're saying, all right, it's going to be a bit of a push, but no problem, it's Christmas. So this starts off as a normal Christmas tale. It's people wondering, have they got enough food for Christmas? And we've always got too much, let's face it. What's going to happen on Christmas Day? We've got a whole bunch of people that are attending that don't really know each other. So you have the various dynamics of how people will react to other people. The American cousins, certainly, people are thinking, hang on, this is going to be a struggle, because they've got a bit of a reputation. They're wealthy. Lord Flores is also, a reasonable guy, but he's aristocracy, and how will he mix with people like Daniel and Neil? So there's all that going on. And that is the essence of the story. People worrying about, are their presents going to be okay? Have they got the presents for enough people? Should the presents go under the tree? And in amongst that, we've got Audrey, completely unflappable, cooking the Christmas dinner. And also people looking forward to her special recipe, because Audrey's bread sauce recipe is a legend, and people want to taste it. Audrey, by all accounts, is a very, very good cook. So they end up having Christmas dinner. The choice between turkey and venison that the Flores have brought. They've got all sorts of wine. They've got Audrey's bread sauce on their turkey, and as is typical, certainly in a traditional UK Christmas, after the meal, when everybody's just about struggling to leave the table, they play a few games, and they're playing charades. During that case of charades, somebody dies. There's been some kissing under the mistletoe just before the charades are played, and one of the guests dies. So it's another case for Daniel, the vicar, and Neil, the copper, to solve. So that, in essence, is the story. My issue with it, I haven't read the previous three, but it's described as a novella, and I thought, basically, this is a short story. There's nothing wrong with the story. It's quite a nice, light, easy-to-read story, and in fact, the way the murder is committed and is very clever, and there's also a nice twist at the end that you don't see. So it's a nice, easy-to-read little story. My issue was that that's basically what it is. It's a short story, and I wasn't quite sure if a novella, a stroke book, was actually worth it. I felt it was padded out a bit much at the start, and in fact, the murder doesn't take place until about 4/5 of the way through the book. So the murder is almost right at the tail end, and where we have Daniel and Neil trying to look at the clues that they've been presented with and work out what's going on. So that's my beef with it, if you will. But there's nothing actually wrong with it. It's a pleasant, easy-to-read, light story. You could read this after you've had a few sherries and a few mince pies on Christmas afternoon. It's 143 pages. I read it in a day. It's a nice little story, but I think perhaps regular readers of the Reverend Richard Cole's books, the previous three, have been beefier a bit longer. Whether the series has run out of steam or whether he just felt under pressure to get something knocked out in time for Christmas, I don't know. As I said, this isn't a bad book, and it's quite an enjoyable little light read. Ideal Christmas present for somebody, I guess, which was perhaps the point of publishing it. But I just felt that it is basically just a short story. It didn't probably deserve a whole book. But that's it. Minor pickiness. Enjoyable enough cosy crime read for Christmas. So I bought this on Amazon, and clearly now Amazon are telling me to buy every Christmas book in stock, but that's the way the world goes. So that's it for this week's brief book review. I'd give it 6 out of 10. As I said, nice enough story. I just felt it was a bit thin and should have just been a short story. That's it for this week's brief book review. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching. Bye.